Hello everyone, welcome to another live video. In this one, I'm going to be revealing to you what the narcissist does when they are damaged, how they respond to it. And really how you know that you have damaged the narcissist. And of course, not because you're deliberately going out of your way to damage them. No, you're just being your natural, innocent self. And this is a big part of it, it's your innocence, your self-satisfaction, just your general contentment. These are things that set off the narcissist because they're not satisfied with themselves. And so these qualities in you trigger or provoke them. And so it damages them. And then they respond to that damage in certain ways. The first way that you can expect to see is the coldness. So all of a sudden, they might become cold towards you. They might become more distant. They're not communicating with you as much as they used to. Now, the reason for that, typically, it's because they haven't really got so much power in this situation. They haven't got too much ability where they can do something else, or maybe just not at this moment in time. And so they do what they can. And what they can do is be cold, be distant, maybe ghost you or give you the silent treatment. Because in some way that kind of restores a sense of their own self-worth, a sense of their own importance by simply pulling away, going cold on you. The second thing you might see is the arrogance. Now, narcissists who do feel like they have a bit more power in the situation, maybe an inflated self-worth, they're going to display arrogance. They're going to show an exaggerated sense of their abilities and importance. They're going to be bragging and boasting. This is all just to compensate for their insecurity, for their feelings of not being good enough. And so they will focus on superficial things, idealizing superficial things, whether that be their looks, money, appearance, physical possessions, connections, whatever it may be, they will focus on those things rather than the relationship or connection, because they feel like they've got a better shot with that, because they know that they do have some issues in relationships. So they'll focus on whatever they feel like gives them the most, really whatever holds the most weight for them to really just avoid reflecting on those wounds of feeling insecure. So they'll direct your attention to something else. And it's because, they're struggling to connect. They can't be vulnerable. They can't build anything with you. So now the focus goes to their accomplishments, past successes, bigging themselves up. Three is the stalking. Now, this might come quite surprising because, they've already boasted about themselves and how great they are. They've been arrogant. So they've really just shown a lack of interest in you. But then what comes next is the stalking. When the narcissist is damaged, they stalk you. They develop an obsession with you. They want to see what you're doing because they envy that peace. They envy that contentment that you have. Number 4 is passive aggression. They will be doing a lot of stalking, but whenever you do engage with them, you're going to get the subtle digs, you're going to get the sarcastic remarks, there's going to be bitterness, there's going to be resentment. Regardless of who this narcissist is, regardless of how attractive or successful they are, they're going to be bitter and resentful towards you. Because everything that they're doing, everything that they're trying to be and how they look or what they're trying to achieve, it's all just to achieve this feeling that you naturally possess, that they can't experience for themselves. And so they envy, they resent you for that, because they wish that was theirs. And so essentially when they're devaluing you, when they're giving you these passive aggressive remarks, they're really just trying to take that from you. Humiliate, ridicule you, have a laugh at your expense, so that it lifts them up through destroying you. Number 5, they rewrite history. You can't ever talk about the past with them. In their minds, the past was perfect. In every moment, they were the hero or victim. This is how they have to live now. In a false reality. They have to live a lie. And this is why anytime that you bring up the past, the things that they've done to you, they're not going to be too happy about it. They're going to deny, project, blame shift, gaslight. Because they cannot go into reality. They felt inadequate, not good enough for reality. That's why they chose to live a lie. That's why they chose to cover up the truth. And so they rewrite the past. They act like events were different from what they actually were. Motives and intentions were different. Because they just can't accept themselves. Now, those narcissists who are more malignant or even psychopathic, if you do call them out on something, if you do corner them, they're going to make it more about you. They're going to be like, yeah, you deserved it. Or they're going to be laughing at you. Like, yes, look at what I managed to do. Look at what I managed to get away with. How powerful, how important am I? Those are more malignant narcissists, psychopathic traits. And yes, it is a thing. That is what they're like. But even then, it's a delusion. Because they're not looking deeper into it to see that the reason why they acted that way is because of a deficiency, an insecurity within them. It's because they're damaged. And no amount of damage that they do to you is ever going to repair them. And in fact, it's just going to damage them even more. It's going to make things even worse for them. Because now, just look at it, this is how they have to live. They have to rewrite history. While you You stay true and connected to reality. And that is where you find your sense of peace, contentment, and fulfillment. Not from anything out there, but from having this alignment within, from having this authenticity. Six, new supply. So they can't get supply from you anymore like they used to. Because now you're more awake, now you're more aware, now you're more suspicious and suspecting. You don't see them the way that you used to. You see through the illusion now. You've woken up. And so they can't get that supply from you like they used to. They can't get that validation. They don't have that same level of control. So they no longer have that opportunity to feel superior. Now they can't live without it, that supply. It's like air to them. It is their oxygen. So they will go and try and find it elsewhere. They will be seeking out new sources. People who are going to look at them and think, wow, you're such a wonderful person. You're so attractive. You're so successful. Because that's what they're looking for. That's what they want. And they can't get that from you anymore. Because even though it may not be that, they may be attractive. Yes, many narcissists are attractive. They're charming, successful. But this is it. It's not real. That charm is actually just manipulation. It's not about doing anything for you. It's all about themselves. And the success, the same thing. They step over people to get ahead. The attractiveness, even then, it's just superficial. It's just an outer shell. It's just a meat suit. So it lacks any real meaning or substance. And this is it, as we've all experienced. If you focus on how something looks, that's not going to get you very far. And we've all had to learn that, What you see on the surface, that can be very deceiving. Just as in ourselves, what people see after we've been involved with a narcissist is very deceiving about who we really are. Narcissists play on that. Never judge a book by its cover. Or maybe not never. In some cases, it may be appropriate. Seven is revenge. Now, no matter what the narcissist does, no matter where they go, no matter who they're with, no amount of supply is ever going to complete them. They're never going to feel satisfied. Because all it is just a distraction from within. They're always focused outside of themselves, thinking that this person or that person is so great. Or having a new job, a new car, a new house. These are all sources of supply, by the way. It's not always about people. Anything can be supply. And so their focus is always there. It's never coming from within. And so it's all just to compensate for low self-worth, insecurity, just feeding their ego to make themselves feel important. And so they'll never be satisfied with it. And they'll still be looking back at you and envying your peace, happiness, and contentment that does come from within. Even though you may not have the people that they have in their life, you may not have the money, the house, the cars, the vacations, but you feel a deep sense of fulfillment coming from within. And that's just it. Everything that they're doing after they leave you, they are chasing these things, pursuing them, just to get that sense of fulfillment that you already experience from within. And it's because, they're corrupt. Just look at a child. It doesn't really need anything. But this is it, narcissists. They need everything, and even then, they're still not fulfilled. It will never be enough. But they will be like this for the rest of their lives, chasing things outside of themselves, doing anything to get it. Because remember, pursuing things, there's nothing wrong with that at all. There's nothing wrong with achieving things, as long as you do it the right way, as long as you do it honestly, fairly. Then it's good, you can achieve things, you can work hard, become a better person, provide for your family, improve the community. The problem with the narcissist is that they do it in a corrupt way. They deceive people. And so they waste their lives doing anything they can, cheating, lying, stealing. But that's just it. The people who they do these things to, it was never about what you possess. It was about the feeling that you have, that you generate from within. That's what they wanted. And that's why, even after they come around you and they take from you, even after that, they're coming for your life. They're trying to ruin you. They're trying to prevent your success. Because it's the feeling that you have. And it's the feeling that you're able to give out to things that you value and cherish. But even then, that's all coming from within you. And that's just it. You may have remembered when you were with the narcissist, you go on a vacation or whatever you do, and, they're never happy. You could be looking out at the most beautiful view. The narcissist will find something wrong. They will focus on a speck of dust on the window. They will always find something wrong with it, just as they found something wrong with you. And this is it. This is their problem. And it's all a reflection of their insecurities. They project it outwards. Children don't see these things. They're not looking at the world in that way. Narcissists do. But yeah, they will never be satisfied. They will never be happy with anything. They will always be comparing themselves to you. And this is how you know you have damaged the narcissist. They saw you and that feeling that you possess. It's like a toy that they wish they could have. But they can't. And so they try and train you. They try and make you just like them. to externalize your power and see value in other people or in things outside of you, the last thing they want you to do is to love yourself, is to experience the very things that they can't. This is why, being involved with them, it affects us. And afterwards, we have to practice self-love to feel good about ourselves again. Unfortunately, many victims, they get involved in addictions, or they go to the gym just to try and prove themselves to people. They go and spend money on vacations or a new car to try and show that there's something. You're still in the narcissist realm when you're doing that. You're still playing their game. And that's from trauma. It's a trauma response. It's a fight. You're fighting to show your worth. When you don't have to do that, you should just look within and realize that you are inherently worthy instead of externalizing your power and trying to prove something to people. Now, of course, let's not think in extremes as well. There's nothing wrong with teasing people, just having a laugh. When we talk about this behavior, we are talking about in extremes. With a narcissist, it is an extreme. I mean, everyone likes to play and have fun now and again, and everyone can tease slightly and be slightly provocative. But what we're talking about with narcissists, this is extreme insecurity, extreme provocation, even ruining people's lives, all because they're insecure. So it's a completely different thing. It's a completely different thing from someone who, just someone you just see like driving around, maybe playing loud music with their shades on or something. That's not a narcissist. The narcissist, they're miserable people. They're out to get you. They're out to ruin you, destroy you, because you're happy and they're not. And they can't stand it. They expect everything to be all about themselves. They don't even achieve anything honestly. They cheat, lie, steal, whatever they have to do. And then they just go and show contempt for people. Like they just can't fathom how other people can just live their lives and not notice them or make it all about them. Be worried about what they've got. Even after, they cheat, lie, and steal to get to where they are anyway. So it's not even anything about them. It's just a false character. But yeah, wherever they go, they expect it to be all about them. As many of you may have experienced. I mean, it's like you go into a gym, there's a narcissist there. And, maybe they've been working out, they're in good shape. They expect you to drop everything. They expect your jaw to drop. And you just stare at them wide-eyed. Like it's all that matters in your life. And so you have nothing more important, nothing that should be more of a priority. It's how they expect it to be. For you to focus on things that really lack substance, lack value. Because what is it doing for you? It's not building anything with you. It's got nothing to do with connection. And this is it. This is the problem that we had with them. It's not long lasting because it's superficial, it's fake. It's very fragile, very weak. It's not going to stand the test of time. While what you have will, because it's generated from within. That's why they go out of their way to destroy it. Because they can see that what you have is stability. What you have is strength. And that's something that they do not possess. This is it. This is the world that we live in today. I mean, people like us, we are targets, we are prey for predators. Predators who really, they're not going to last very long anyway. They prey on us just to keep themselves going for a short amount of time, and not so that they can serve anyone. So it's useless. Even if we do think in their benefit, it's useless. And then, of course, if we consider other people's needs, it is completely useless because it doesn't sustain them. And they're not thinking about other people. So that's what makes it bad. Because we should be thinking about advancing, progressing, building. Now they know that with you, it's different. They may not be consciously aware of it and, about the deep psychology, but at some level, yes, they do know that you possess that stability. That's why you're their supply. I mean, otherwise you wouldn't be a good source. What would they extract from you? Viva Survivor says, some experts says it's caused from a mother wound, not daddy issues. Yes, that's actually what recent research is showing, is that it really has very little, if anything, to do with the father. The father isn't going to have that kind of mental impact on the child. It is primarily to do with the mother. And even Professor Sam Vaknin, he has his dual mothership theory. So it is the mother, not the father. Of course, there's always going to be exceptions to everything. And there's always going to be things learned from both sides. So, for those of you who, you may see some traits that appear to be picked up from, like the narcissist father, you're not seeing things there. Yes, that can be the case. But a lot of this, it is due to, it always comes back to a lack of unconditional love from the mother. Because if the child had been, felt loved by their mother, they wouldn't be so influenced by the father's narcissistic traits, because they would already feel loved. So why would they develop into a narcissist? So the origin always has to come back to neglect or abuse from the mother. Because, that's just how it is, isn't it? I mean, by nature, mothers are meant to be unconditionally loving. Fathers are normally wanting to see performance, achievement, purpose. And that's just the way that they're wired to be as humans. With the mother, it's like, you don't have to do anything. I'll still love you. With fathers, I mean, it's kind of on the fence. Like, yeah, I'll still love you, but I really want you to do well. I really want you to achieve as well. So, but that's, that's my perception. That's what I'm seeing anyway. You let me know your opinions on it. But yeah, anyway, that's it for this video. If it was helpful, give it a thumbs up, and I will talk to you soon.